Hi everyone. Let's take a look at this problem with the McMinn Retail Company, and let's illustrate how we would solve this one, which asks us to prepare the financial statements, the income statement, the statement of retained earnings, and a statement of financial position, also known as the balance sheet. And let's illustrate this using a worksheet. Okay, I've put in the balances in front of you. Let me slide down and show you that there's a little bit more on the screen. I'll just slide down a little bit. Okay, and those are all the accounts that are given in this problem, and they're simply listed in alphabetical order. Okay, now what I want to do is take advantage of the sorting so that we have it in the right place, and also post the normal balances to the right debit and credit side. And in the problem, we assume that all the balances already represent the normal balances. Okay, so why don't we just, we'll copy the credit here. We'll start off with a credit because accounts payable normally is a credit balance. And we will just copy that cell down to any other normal credit account. So I'm going to pick up all the credit ones, which would be liabilities and equity accounts. Oh, there's a typo. Let me fix that. I've got some more typos. I'll get to that in a minute. Deferred income taxes usually is a credit amount showing up as a liability. Dividends declared is a contra equity. It will show up as a debit. Notes payable is a long-term obligation. Preferred stock, common stock, so that shows up as a credit. Premium goes in the same direction as the bond payable. A discount would be the opposite direction. Retained earnings is a credit. Sales would be a credit. Sales returns and allowance would not. Okay, so now that we have that, let's drop our debits in. We'll slide back up, and it's going to be all the other ones. So I'll just copy and paste. I'll do this in one big movement here, and then I'll delete where we already did the credits. Okay. Let me slide a little bit more. There's other accounts down here that didn't appear on the screen. Sales tax payable is a credit. Treasury stock would be a debit. It's a contra equity account, so we'll copy from here. Utilities expense would be a debit. Okay, now if we've done that right, we should be able to sum from above. And let me slide up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just simply putting in the sum formula. And our debits should equal the credits, and lo and behold, they do. Okay, let me just underline this. Okay, now I may be doing some. No, let's take it from here. So now we have the debits and credits appearing in the normal balance. Let me shrink the screen a little bit so we can get a little bit more on the screen. That's 90%. I think that's workable. I think you can see that fine. All right, now the next thing I want to do is I want to sort these in an order by income statement. And that way we'll group them in the proper areas. This really isn't critical, but I think it'll help us. So let's insert a column. And it only has to be pretty small. And let's jot in, first off, let me copy this here. We don't need that. And we will label this column the income statement. Okay, we'll center that, and it doesn't need to be bolded, but I will underline it just to be consistent with the other ways. Oh, but we'll center it. Okay, so the income statement, accounts payable belongs on a balance sheet, and we'll just go through all the ones that go on the balance sheet. Here's what I'll do. I'll do all the balance sheets, all of them first, and then we'll change any income statement accounts. And this should say cost of goods sold. We'll correct that. That belongs on the income statement. depreciation expense, income tax. Anything with the word expense or revenue goes on the income statement rather than the balance sheet. So we've got a supplies expense. Prepaid rent's an asset, represents future economic benefit. There's an income statement account, rent expense, salaries expense. Sales is revenue, goes on the income statement. Right? All of these represent flows of transactions over a period of time. Got another typo here. Sales, returns, and allowances, treasury stock, and one more income statement. Okay. All right, now that we have that, let's sort this by that amount. So let's slide over all of this. It's going to change one item. Let's take the underline off here, because when I sort this, that underline may get moved. And now let's do, and I'm doing this on the Excel ribbon. This is Office 2007, so you may not see what I'm doing. It's off of the screen. But what I'm going to do is sort that range. And I will go into sort. Now I'll put this on the screen. And we want to sort by column B, which is the income statement. Sort on the values in ascending order. So the balance sheet will come before the others. It says add a level. Yeah, then we could sort by the account name. And that's over in column A, which it thinks there's a title. The title is using a worksheet demo for that column, but that's so fine. Let me hit OK. And now it should have been sorted balance sheet first, as you can see, and then in alphabetical order, and then by income statement. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm satisfied with that. All right. Now, this is an adjusted trial balance, so we don't need any columns. We've got the debits and credits flowing to the right area. We're still in balance, right? Let me do this. Now let's put together the income statement. Let me show you how I want to do this. I'm going to write in income statement here, and over here I'm going to type in balance sheet. Now I may go off the screen here a minute, but I'll adjust it in a second. All right, now let's center that and merge it. Maybe underline the. Actually, that's fine. And I think we might be better off if we just do the outside border so you can see what we're doing. Merge and center, outside border here. And we'll drop in that debit and debit credit here as well. And it might make sense just to draw a line to the left side of this so we can see the difference. Okay, formatting's probably not critical. All right, now what we need to do is drop in the income statement where it needs to be. I'm going to call this a subtotal for now. And I'm going to show you one of the benefits of using a worksheet to help you solve this. Okay, if it goes on the balance sheet, let's see, what do we want to do? We can hide this column now because we just needed it to know to sort. Actually, I don't want to hide it. Let's make it small so we get more screen real estate. And we can rely on that, and we can say, well, if this account belongs on the balance sheet, let's pull from it. So that's a credit. And all of these should just simply flow on down. Let me do all the balance sheets first. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all of this. I just did a cut and paste. And then anywhere there's a 0, I'll just delete it just to clean this up. Okay? You could have left it just as it is, right? It's not doing any harm. That dash means there's nothing there. But let's kill it just to clean it up. Okay, and that's all our balance sheet accounts. Now let's do the same thing for the income statement. So if it pulls from the income statement, we have a debit. If it pulled from the credit, we would pull from right there. And we'll copy those down as well. And then clean up the accounts where they don't go. All right. Now that we have that, Maybe we should box this in too. Do an outline of this so we can sort of see where we're at. Let's slide down a little bit and let's compute those totals again. Now, if we've done this right, we should be able to compute net income right here. So this is the bigger number, that's the smaller number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this has to equal that number. So does this one. So to force the difference, we would take the 226 less the 211. And I hope that's our net income amount. Here's one way to tell. The bigger number here is the 126. Let's drop that here. And let's compute the difference. And because these two numbers are in balance, I'm fairly convinced that that was our net income for the amount, net income for the period. Okay, let me slide up to so you can see what I've done. I've now used a worksheet, so I've split all those accounts into where they go on the balance sheet and where they go on the income statement. And if it footed, and I was able to come up with a total where the debits equal the credits, there's a good chance that that's the correct net income amount for this period of time. Okay, now that we have that, I'm not actually going to type in the financial statements. Instead, I'm going to show the solutions and show where the information came from. So the first financial statement we prepare is the income statement. We have all the accounts we need right here. So now, to produce the income statement in a multi-income statement format, you simply need to have some understanding of what that format looks like, and you can find that in the accounting text. But let me take a look at it. Let's hope you can see this on the screen. Okay, you have all of it on the screen right here. So now you see what I did is I took the 226 less the 2500, okay, and we come up with a net sales amount. Now, I say I do this. I'm actually using the solutions that were provided to me. So I don't want to take credit for what I didn't do. But there's our 226 less the sales returns of 2500 to come up with net sales. If we flip back, you see there's the 226 there. We have a sales returns and allowances of 2500. Oh, now I see an error. Look at that. Sales returns and allowances. This belongs over here. There's an error. That should say income statement. I'm going to put 2500 here. Get rid of that. Let's change our sum. Are we still in balance? Yeah, now we're down to 12,250 as our net income, but we're still in balance. Okay, and there's the net income, so that's correct. So by doing this, I did see that I made one error. And theoretically, I should resort this. In fact, why don't we do that?